break it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back to the stream. This is Let's Break It Down, an Overwatch League podcast. My buddy Riggs and I are coming at you live every week to talk about the best plays, scores, results, all that jazz from the Overwatch League. What's going on, Riggs? Hope you're having a good week, buddy.
It's just going pretty good. I mean, at least for me, this is like my Friday, so it's over. My birthday's tomorrow. Not looking forward to it because I get to go to court.
No shit, man. My
What else
birthday's...
could you want for your birthday, right? I mean, but to sit on your ass in court all day.
My birthday's Monday, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy cow, dude! I didn't even know. Like, our
Yeah.
birthdays are right there together. Mars is Friday too, so it's like all three of us, man.
That's crazy, man. So, oh man, week 4, stage 4, week 4, we are 1 week away from playoffs, man.
I know it's crazy. I was sitting there at work the other day, trying to come up with things to talk about, and I'm like, the off season, like I know this is something that's kind of stupid, like in the long term of it. But like for me as a football fan, I actually look forward to the off season every year because I like to see what happens in the draft and the mini camps and trades. And
I just want to know how they're going to do the draft.
So yeah, like I'm sitting there at lunch and I was like just thinking by myself, and I'm like, the off season's coming up, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to it because I want to. This is the inaugural off season, so to speak. Nobody kind of knows what happens between Overwatch League seasons. So I mean, are they going to have a draft? Like, how are they going to pick players? Is Contenders going to come into play with that?
I have no idea, man.
A lot of crazy things were going through my head, and it kind of made me sit there and go, I could see myself saying, like, let's do a couple, let's break it down during the off season, just kind of keep people posted. Maybe not as frequently, like every week, because I don't think there will be as much to talk about every week, but
yeah,
just like once a month or something, just kind of, hey, this is what's been going on in Overwatch lately.
I would just love for them to address how it's going to work, like, especially with the end of the regular season coming up. Like, we already know which teams are not going to be part of the playoffs, and we already know which teams are kind of bottom of the barrel. So I want to kind of see, like, okay, let's say I'm like a Dallas Fuel fan. My team's gotten the shit kicked out of them all year. Does that mean that at least we get a better draft? Like, are we going to have a better shot at rebuilding next year? Like, how's that going to work? So,
and Shanghai the same way. I mean, obviously, first pick if there is a draft, right? Florida gets second, Dallas gets third, so on, so on.
So it would just kind of be nice for some of those fans to have a little bit of consolation, right? To be able to know, like, do we at least get something out of the deal?
Well, see, and then that's the thing though too. Like, 12 players is kind of the maximum. So I mean, I guess it would work to. Does the team regulate it? Like, this is how many people are going to be on your roster from now on?
Yeah, I don't know, man. The original. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, I mean, I know right now their minimum is 6 and it's up to 12, but I mean, realistically, in order for them to do a draft, they would have to set like this is how big your roster is. You like would have to have 12 people on or whatever the case may be. So like, I don't know, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's just so many questions going into the offseason. Like, are they going to do that? Is there going to be a salary cap? Because, like, okay, you got Robert Kraft owning the Boston Uprising. That dude is loaded money. I mean, if it came down to it, he could just pay out the best team in Overwatch League. And there's nothing stopping him right now. There's no salary cap saying, no, you can't pay that player $500,000, dollars to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but he could, and it wouldn't really be much to him. It would be like a rookie contract for one of his football players, I mean, I don't know. I just, like I said, there were just so many questions going through my head, so many things that I was like, okay, there's definitely got to be some let's break it down in the off season, just because of, I think a lot of these questions are going to be answered, obviously. But just keeping everybody up to date on what's going on with it. Like
Yep.
I mean, yeah, why not? Again, I don't think it'll be as frequent, but I'll probably drop in once a month and try to do one or something.
Yep. For
Yeah, sure.
sure. It'll definitely be interesting to see kind of how things shake up. Um, and especially with some of these teams like New York that already have a stacked roster that are going to have even more kind of stacked talent coming in from contenders. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of balance things and where they kind of make changes. But all that aside, before we dive into the games, how's your week been going, man? You been playing anything?
Uh, I really haven't had a lot of time to play a lot of things, so I just kind of been playing a little Overwatch with the anniversary. Um, didn't really get a lot. I got the McCree Sherlock skin. Got some dances. I was kind of excited about that, but I mean, ultimately, not a big skin event for me. Um, but I had some fun with it. Played some quick play with some friends from World of Warcraft that I haven't seen in a while. Um, like actually owned it on Widow. It's actually official now too. You look at my played stats. I guess I'm a Widow main, but man, I had their Widow and their Hanzo's number like the whole game. They couldn't do shit. It was felt great. I mean, like just to know like I was dominating that bad on the Widow front.
Hell yeah, man.
Um, like I've really been practicing a lot with my headshots, so I think it's finally starting to pay off and starting to see the results.
Have you tried
So,
new Hanzo at all?
not really. Uh, Hanzo was never really my thing to begin with. So I mean,
He's
I didn't
supposed to
really
be
think that.
busted right now.
Oh, I know he's busted, and that's probably part of the reason I don't want to play him because I want to see him get fixed before I really give him another try. But um, like I say, he's not really my cup of tea. Like, there's nothing against him. I think he's a cool character, but I don't really like the shot arc, and his hitbox is huge. Like, I mean, I don't feel like I have to be as accurate as I have to be with like Widow or something with Hanzo. I just gotta hit somewhere in the general area of that dude's head, and I'm gonna get counted for it.
Well, yeah, that's the
um,
point. Easy headshots,
but
man. Easy life.
uh, I don't know, dude. It's just like he's just not my thing. So I haven't really given him the time I probably should have. He's definitely like you look at my played list, and he's near the bottom.
I saw a
Right
really
there with his brother Genji.
I saw a really interesting graph today where it was like the most picked heroes in Grandmaster. Uh, the top 6 heroes is Reinhardt Zarya, Mercy Zen, and then Widow Hanzo. So it's just 2-2-2 with double snipers. And those 6 account for 70% of all picks in Grandmaster. The other
Dang.
the other 21 heroes or whatever are the other 30%. Like that is the meta in Grandmaster. So it's going to be really interesting to kind of see going into playoffs, like if they are on this kind of new Hanzo patch. Um, is that going to be kind of like it? Because right now it kind of seems like if you don't have Hanzo, you're setting yourself up to fail. Like he's a requirement if you're going to take it seriously, at least at those high skill levels.
Well, definitely. I mean, like I said, he's so busted right now, especially with that storm shot or storm arrow, whatever it's called.
Oh, it shreds tanks, man.
Oh my God. And not only that, it can shred the tank and drop a couple people behind them without breaking the
Yep.
sweat, if it's a skilled player, which I mean, at Grandmaster level, obviously we're talking about skilled players. I mean, these guys are like borderline hitting contenders and, possibly Overwatch League. So, I mean, that's kind of the pool they pull from. So, yeah, dude. I mean, these guys are gonna take a few of you with that storm arrow every freaking time, and
Well, and it's
it
also on
doesn't
such a
have
low
an insanely
cooldown.
long cool. That's what I was just gonna
Yeah, yeah,
say.
yeah.
It's not even a
Exactly,
long
exactly.
cooldown. I mean,
It's always up, man.
yeah, god dang. It's like I mean, it seems to me like Arissa's shield has a longer cooldown, and that doesn't even have much.
Arissa's
Um,
shield, I think, is 7 or 8 seconds, and
yeah, it's not very
Storm
long.
Arrow is like 6 seconds, I think.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, to think that you could not only use it to fend off a push, but in the reality of it, you could probably use it 2 or 3 times in a push because it's so quickly respawning. That's just insane. And I mean, I'm glad at my low garbage levels, like nobody really plays Hanzo, at least, you know, players who are trying to seriously rank up or anything. But I don't know. I haven't really have to deal with the Hanzo that much, it seems like. But um, the one I faced off with the other day, like he just, I don't know if he was new or maybe was trying to get the feel of the switches in the character still or something, but he kept poking his head out in the wrong time. I mean,
Yeah.
every time I knew exactly where he was, and
My problem with snipers has always been, and Ragtag is the one that said it, and it stuck with me. When you're playing a sniper, you are providing next to zero other utility for your team. Like you are purely kills, purely damage. You can't push a point, you can't heal, you can't give area denial, nothing like that. You
I'm
are
not the widow that won't get on the point. Like if somebody's attacking it, no one else is around, I will get on that point. I'll switch to my machine gun. I'll do what I have to do. You know,
but
I might grapple around a little bit to help evade, but I mean, I'm still gonna play that point. You know, I mean,
um
I think it's the style of the player, but I will agree with you. There's not a lot of widows that do play the point. I mean, hell in Overwatch League, I've seen like Carpe play the point, but like nobody else.
right. And even if you get on the point, like you are not playing a character designed to contest a point is what I'm saying.
Not really. I
So
mean, you can
so
buy time for your team, but that's really at best what you're gonna do.
so what I was going to say is um if you are not getting like twice as many kills as everybody else, like you are not doing your job as a sniper, is what he said. And you know, 2 times as many, whatever the number is, it's debatable. But basically, the point is, if you're not getting like serious kills, then you're just not helping as a sniper.
Well, and that's kind of what I kept saying during this game too when we were playing, because my buddy was like, "Dude, what the heck is going on?" And I'm like, I'm in a sniper duel with Widow and Hanzo, picking off Mercy, doing all kinds of stuff like that." But I'm like, I'm really surprised that these guys keep coming at me. Like, obviously, okay, I've killed you half a dozen times already. Like, maybe it's time to switch off that character. You're obviously not doing anything for your team. They weren't getting anything in the kill feed. You know, the only sniper getting stuff on that kill feed was me, but I took Ragtag's advice because I do love Ragtag. I think that yes, while his coaching is meant to be humorous, as he so eloquently states at the beginning of every video, like I think there is some truth to his coaching, and I think there's some validity to it. I think he's pretty decent at what he does, and he knows the game well. And I took what he said to heart. I got myself to a point where like I knew I could make those shots. I could make crazy shots. I could make long, long, long shots. I'm better farther away now. But like that's where I get screwed is when I say it's something that's right in front of me. But like I wanted to get to that point where I knew I wasn't going to be a burden to the team on that character. I wanted to be an asset, not a burden.
Yeah.
And I'm coming out with gold damage, usually gold of limbs, if not I'm silver,
Why do you
at
like
worst.
playing a sniper though? I gotta ask. Like that's my question. Not that there's
I don't
anything wrong
really
with
know.
it. I just think it's
Yeah, I
interesting.
think it goes back to my childhood. Like my dad was kind of atypical, like hunter, fisherman kind of guy. Like
I thought you were gonna
he
say he
had
was a
me in my
sniper.
no, he wasn't a sniper. Like he wasn't in the army or anything like that. But like he was all about like hitting that shot and making sure it's not like you're gonna have to go chase something. You
Right.
know? He hated chasing shit. So like he had me and my brother shooting from like about the age of 5. So I guess to me it's like still kind of that thrill going back to my childhood of like I wonder if I could hit that from here, like and just trying that long shot.
Yeah,
And
man.
every time I hear that little pink, it's like, yay, I did it. Right on. But Yeah, freaked D out the other day. I got a kill shot at the beginning of the game because his dumbass was standing like right out in front, like where everybody can see him. And I had my scope out the door, just like on him. And I was looking at her talking, and I heard the door open. I just popped my mouse and got the headshot off and killed him. I was like, "Yep, no look kill. Look at that shit."
Nice job, man.
I can start
Um,
feeling really comfortable on the character now, man.
that's
I
good,
got
man.
13 more hours on her than I do Soldier at this point, so that's telling you something.
Hey, that's great, man. You're sticking with it. You're getting better. That's awesome. Are we gonna see silver rigs this season?
I hope we're gonna see Silver Rigs this season.
The fabled
Um,
silver.
I don't know what kind of time off I'm gonna have next week, but I kind of already did plan that I was gonna sit down and just rip out my placement next week.
Yeah, at least do your placement, see what you end up as.
Yeah,
I've
I haven't
been
done it in a while, not like since the beginning of Overwatch League season, I think.
I've
So
been
it's about
going
time I get off
up
my ass.
about like 50 points each competitive season. But I don't really do much past my own placements. I don't know. I never really get in the mood to like let me grind a bunch of competitive games and like be super try hard stressful. I don't know.
No, I like to take mine in spurts, like do like 2 or 3 games a day, and just try to get it done in like a week span.
Yeah.
So that way I don't get too frustrated with it and it's not too much.
Yep.
Um,
But
but
let's go ahead and get into some games.
right on, sounds like a plan, man.
Alrighty. Now, this is where things get super interesting, folks, because this is we're past playoff implications at this point. Like we are knee deep in playoff implications. For these teams that want to get those last couple of playoff spots, or these teams, um, or even these teams that are out and just want to save their pride, like every single match, every single map matters for these guys. And Boston Uprising coming out of the gate, finally getting a freaking win on the board in stage 4. Like they were almost stage 3 champions, and this is their first win in week 4.
Well, I was really glad to see them kind of figure out the Brigida now. I mean, I hated to see that they had to give up mistakes like on a good DPS role, like he's a really good Widow. But Stryker was really holding his own on Widow, so that was insanely impressive. Like to see him getting the better of Fleta most of the time during that match was just insane. Um, like Fleta's one of the best Widows on the planet, and I mean Stryker just went out there like it was nothing. Like, yeah, I got to hold my beer. Um, but yeah, like mistakes really kind of did well on Brigida. I was surprised, dude.
I mean, the guy is so versatile. Like, it doesn't surprise me that he did well on it. I I kind of can't wait to get through the games to see your play of the week because it came out of this game and it was pretty
Dude, it's
incredible.
epic though, right?
No,
Like,
no, it was amazing.
yeah.
Um, but definitely a much needed win for Boston. I think they're still in the playoff run. I think they still have a spot. So if they can just keep their heads on straight for this next week, well, they might be okay.
Well, what they
Um,
really need to do is not lose out. I mean, if they lose the next 2 games, they're not. They've clenched. I mean, Boston is not out of it. They've clenched.
mhm.
They are a clenched team, but their position in the playoffs is what
Yep.
could be in fluctuation. They could be anywhere from third to sixth. If they lose out and other teams win, then yeah, they're probably going to be in that 6 seed spot, and it's going to be hell for them.
Yep.
But if they can just win a game or two and stay on top of it, then they should remain in that 3rd seed and be pretty good.
Now, excuse me, the two teams that clinch the top of their divisions. So New York for Atlantic and Valiant for Pacific. Do they get a first round bye? Is that how that works?
Yeah, they're going to get a bye while the other teams play.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And then they're going to play the winners of that. So from what I understand, it's Los Angeles Valiant has it for the Pacific side. They've clenched. They're good.
Yep.
They're getting their bye.
Yep.
And obviously New York Excel has clenched it for us Atlantic side people. And they're gonna get their bye, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely I think kind of want to be on that upper tier. You don't want to be in that sixth spot.
No,
That's
and
gonna be hell.
honestly, that sixth spot pre-playoffs has been changing every single week. Like it's just been fluctuating all over the place. And we keep saying it, but like 4, 5, and 6, really just spot 5 and 6. So many teams vying for those last two spots, and it's going to be right down to the wire this week. Definitely, like it's a little too close to call for any of these teams. Um, but moving on this past week's games, Florida taking a surprisingly hard fought win over Shanghai 3-2.
Yeah,
Now,
this one scared me, dude.
hey, I got a little scared when Houston played Shanghai last week. Um, I know
This was
you.
not Florida's most convincing win.
No, absolutely not. But here's the problem. I'm happy for you that Florida got a win. Like that's great. They should win against Shanghai. But for the Shanghai fans out there, not only was this one of, we'll say, Florida and Dallas, it was one of their closest winnable matchups. But not only that, but they actually came close to winning it. It went to a map 5 and they fell flat. Like they couldn't pull it out. And now the 0-40 is almost guaranteed. It's all but assured at this point.
I mean, I want to say that with the promise that they showed against Florida there, and I still continue to say that I don't understand Florida's struggles at all. They've got the talent coming out their ears,
Yep.
on every front, and for some reason they just struggle to finish out games. But Florida is a stacked team that shouldn't be where they are in the standings. They should be doing a lot better than they're doing. I don't know what they need to do in the offseason, but they need to figure some shit out. Um, I think they got the talent. I think even if they just stuck with their roster, they'd be fine. But I don't know if it's calm still. I don't know if it's support. I don't know if it comes down to coaching stuff.
Well, and
I don't know, but
and like
I
we've
hope
said
Florida can figure it
before,
out.
it's a testament to the skill and the competitiveness of the league, right? Because Florida is this super stacked team that has, Saya Player and Logix and Tavik and all these awesome guys. No pun intended.
It's
But
kind of worked out.
that actually that wasn't intended, guys. I swear. But they have awesome guy. But they're struggling, and I think that's a testament to how high the stakes are in this league. Like other teams are just as hungry, and they're good. Like, and I think that's a great thing for us as viewers.
But I guess inevitably what I was getting at is like at least with Florida, like I think that their problems at this point are minimal. They've got the talent, they've got good coaching staff now. I mean, I got a lot of faith in Mineral and Ryder, to help right the ship in the offseason, come into season 2, a much stronger and more competitive team. Um, but I think that their problems are going to be easily worked out in the offseason. They got the time to work on it. They can hone some stuff in. They'll figure it out. I don't. So like to me, there's like a dawn, a start of a sunrise for the mayhem out there. That things are going to get better. I don't see that with Shanghai yet though. They're still in the middle of the night, in the dark. There's no direction there. They don't know where they're going, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel yet for them to say, things are getting better. There's no brand new day. It's just, I, their problems are so insane at this point. Like, how do you fix it?
I don't
Where do
know.
you even start? Do you just draft an entire new team? Do you cut Shanghai from the league? Like, what do you do?
Well, I think it's premature to talk about cutting them from the league. I think that, and again, we don't know the exact rules, but I know that in other franchised esports leagues like NALCS, it's a couple of seasons of like a bottom 2 finish before you're out. So I would imagine So no is the short answer. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we have at least another season of Shanghai giving it a shot, which and I think they should.
Yeah,
Um,
I hope they do, and I really hope the next season's better. I just
but
don't know where they need to start to make it better.
and I don't think they know either. They've at least got some new blood, and I think all of the players having a break, going home, spending some time with family in the off season, recharging. Hopefully that'll do a lot of good for them. And I think just coming in with a fresh start in season 2 will hopefully do a lot of good for them. But we'll have to see kind of what they do with the roster shakeup if there is one in the off season.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got hope for them. I know this season's not going to be any better.
Yep.
It's not going to get any better for them.
Yep.
It's not.
But going into the last match of the day, Houston once again winning the Texas Showdown. And actually, God, I should have pulled up the Twitch clip. Hang on, I'm gonna pull this up for you guys because this was just so good. So yeah, Houston has won every single Texas Showdown this year. Obviously super great for them and the fans, and definitely a much needed win. And I think Houston looked really solid. I think this was definitely the closest that we've seen.
Probably. I mean, I still think it was a really decided win for Houston over Dallas. Kind of sad to see Dallas go only one and not push the fifth map. Because I mean, like, let's be real. Of all the bottom tier teams that are in the league right now, Dallas kind of has the brightest future. I mean, whatever happened in stage or between stages 3 and 4, like, I don't know if it was just a meta change and it's working to their advantage, or if they had some kind of group discussion that, like, hey, we can't continue to live in this cesspool of suck. But they clicked something and it's working. I mean, if the stage were to end right now today, they're in playoffs. Like, I never would have picked Dallas to be in the stage playoffs. Like, I think in any stage at this point, based on their play in preseason and stage 1 alone.
No, and you're absolutely right. Dallas has totally stepped it up this stage, and it's been great to see. And hopefully, they can kind of get that old kind of envy spark back, and come out all the stronger in season 2. But the best thing to come out of this match was the analyst desk, and I want to show you guys this clip real quick because this was freaking amazing. I was just dying laughing.
Playoffs. So, ladies and gentlemen, give me a yeehaw or something. Yeah, make some noise. And let's go ahead and get into this matchup by sending it on over to the desk.
Thank you so much, Malik. I want to do a yeehaw as well. I'm Puckett. You know the boys. We got Brett. We've got Reinforced. And this is the Texas Showdown. A lot of Texas in my ears. Now, historically, Houston has had the edge over this Dallas Fuel Squad.
Amazing. Just amazing. I love that clip. That
was fucking great.
I love Reinforce's laughter. I love the sound effects. I love Puckett doing the guns. It was perfect. Absolutely my favorite death segment so far. So that was great. But definitely a great win pickup for Houston. They definitely need it going into this last week and kind of playoff contention. But rolling right along, Thursday, Valiant taking the 2-1 over London, continuing to look like a really dominant team in stage 4.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fair that it kind of say that LA has kind of become the New York of the Pacific Division at this point. I mean, well, LAB, I should say. They're just looking solid. I mean, they're not making mistakes anymore. They're not tripping up and having the issues that they were having in the earlier stages. They definitely polished everything up. I think the additions of Bunny and Custa are really working out in their favor. Yep. I thought it was really cool that they had some interpreters for this match because they had a deaf person in the audience. I don't know if you saw the article about that, but it's
I
on
did
the
not.
Overwatch League news page. It's a really cool article, but he got to meet a bunch of them at the end of it, and I thought that was really cool. Like that Overwatch League would you know
That's awesome. I
do
mean,
that for
knowing Blizzard, that doesn't
fans.
really surprise me.
But yeah, they got a whole team of interpreters out there for them. Set them up, and it
Blizzard
was really cool, man.
Blizzard has always struck me as a really awesome company. I mean, if you guys out there playing the games, if you've ever dealt with any of their customer support or any of their employees and stuff, they seem like a really awesome group of people. And they've done some stuff like this before. And it's kind of nice. I mean, while I would love to have a 20,000 seat Overwatch arena, this is the kind of stuff that you can do in a more kind of intimate studio setting, which is nice.
Yeah, like they kind of explain how they would do it and stuff because they were saying that the fan was most of the time watching the match, but if they noticed like all the people laughing, they would explain the joke from the commentators and stuff to him, and
Oh, that's
like,
nice.
it was really cool, dude. So like he really be a part of it, and like I was like, dang, this is awesome, Blizzard. Like keep up the good work.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. Not so cool is the next match if you're a New York fan. Although at this point they clinched, so it doesn't really matter. But
No, I thought this was cool because I mean, come on, I've been saying
Gladiators
how
taking the win.
I've been saying how hungry LAG is, and
And-
like this proves it.
And I got to
Just
give you
proves
props,
it.
man. You did call it like 4 weeks ago. You were like, I feel it. Gladiators are hungry. They're gonna come out swinging. And I'm with you, man. They want this damn playoff spot. They want it bad.
Hell yeah.
And to get a win, like even one that close over New York, that's a big statement. That says like, hey boys, I'm gonna fight for this spot.
Yeah, I really love the additions of Fisher. I think hands down, that's probably like if you were to put one pivotal moment on the league as to where a team turned around and made a big difference, like it's LAG's pick up of Fisher. That was probably the most decisive thing in Overwatch League that's happened.
And after their game against London later in the week, you kind of got to wonder if London wants Fisher back.
I don't think Fisher would go back if his life depended on it at this point.
Oh, I don't think he would
he's
either.
So mad at London, it's not even funny. He's like said it before in interviews that he's just out to destroy London and to show them what they gave up.
And he's making some strong statements for sure. But before we get to that match, we got Philly taking the 2-1 over Shock. And we've said before, this has been by far Shock's best stage. So definitely a good win pickup for Philly, who's still very much in the hunt for one of these last playoff spots.
Yeah, and you got to hand it to Shock too to get the draw and a map point off Philly. That's not bad. I mean, I thought they might be able to put up a little bit of a stronger fight, but Philly's super aggressive. Philly's Philly. Carpe's Carpe. Like guys just at this point he's probably more of a murderer than Prophet. But
Tactical Crouch Master.
yes, the tactical croucher, dude.
So definitely
yeah,
some good stuff
good
coming
game.
out of Philly. Moving on to the back half of the week, we got Boston taking the 4-0 over Shanghai. I mean, it's great that they got the win over Seoul. But I mean, 4-0 over Shanghai is
really
nothing to write home
that,
about.
Okay, this was Shanghai's week. If you're gonna get a win, you need to get it this week.
Yep.
You're playing a struggling Boston team, and you're playing Florida, who's only one step above you. So this was your best chance.
And they blew it, man.
But I don't know if Boston ate its Wheaties, had their morning coffee, finally woke up and realized, holy shit, we got to get our crap together. Stage is about to end. But they finally look like a decisive team again. I mean,
Can I offer a hypothesis? It would seem to me that Boston has fixed their mistakes. Come on.
Come on, dude. The awesome guy one was good because I was just like flowing in that.
Okay, fine. I only get one good one. All right, forget it. Anyways, completely. I can't even say completely expected with the way that Boston's been playing, but a not super surprising 4-0 for Boston. And then we got Dallas giving Florida the 4-0. Now, in previous stages, this might have been a little bit more up in the air, maybe a little bit closer in map score, but like you said, Dallas has really been showing up this stage.
Yeah, they finally lit that fire, you know. um, and I'll hand it to them. I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about this match. They kicked our ass. I mean,
Yep.
it's just the way it is.
And it's so
Hats off to
interesting.
Dallas. Congratulations.
Like, it just seems like Brigida was that match they needed to add to this fuel to make a fire.
But like Mickey, dude, is just ridiculous on Brigida.
Oh, Mickey's awesome, man. But I think it's been kind of a domino effect because Mickey's great on the Brigida, which can peel for Taimu to get him kills, to pump up his confidence, to pump up everybody else's confidence, and it's just kind of this success snowball. So, I mean, we've been harsher on Dallas Fuel than just about anybody this entire season on this show, and I mean, respect. Like, they're making it work, and I honestly hope they can keep it going.
Yeah, I do too. I kind of hope that the days of us, you know, talking down about Fuel, like, you know, as we near the end of the season, I really hope that the next season of Let's Break It Down will be less about like, man, Shanghai is struggling, man, Florida's struggling, man, Fuel's struggling, and just God
No
dang,
free
this is a
wins.
competitive.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't want any
league,
free
you
wins.
know? Yeah, I don't want to see free wins next season. I want to see like every team pulling their weight, every team just duking it out every
Yep.
single match.
Absolutely,
And
man.
Dallas Fuel gives me hope for that. I really think Florida, like I said, I think they're on the cusp. I think they got the talent. I think they got the problems that are simple enough to fix and get there. Shanghai is a big question mark, but hopefully at least the rest of this league and Dallas and Florida next year will be in that mix, and they'll be in some stage playoffs, and you know we'll see a much closer match.
Yep. But then rounding out the day, we got Philly taking another win. So they got the 2-0 this week. It was a close one. It was a 5 map, but taking the win over Seoul Dynasty. And I mean, you got to be worried if you're a Seoul fan. Like, they are looking more and more likely every week that they're not going to make it into playoffs.
You know, I mean, based on their schedule going into next week and stuff, I don't really see them losing out. I mean, all things considered, the playoff spot is theirs to lose right now because these next games that they're going to play, they shouldn't lose.
Yep, and I mean, just looking at Houston's schedule, I know that they have a much tougher road to get there.
Like, Houston has, like, climbing Everest to get to the playoffs right now. I mean, not only do they have to win out against some insanely hard teams, they have the hardest schedule next week out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But not only would they have to win out, other teams would have to lose as well.
Exactly,
So, I
and
mean,
that's the problem.
The pinnacle for them to get to the playoffs is almost insurmountable. But, like, Seoul is basically in it as long as they don't trip up.
Yep.
If they continue to stumble on their own feet, then they're not going to make it. But it's really just theirs to lose.
Yep. Indeed.
Philly's the same way. I mean, Philly can't trip up either. They can't afford to trip up. They need to.
Mm-hmm.
They need another week next week, like they had this week. I mean, this week was very decisive. Very good wins. That's honestly, what they need next week. But they need better map points next week. Than
I was just gonna say that because honestly, if Philly splits 1-1 this week and Houston splits 1-1, Houston pretty consistently has had the better map score than Philly by more than a couple maps. So if it comes down to map score between those two, Philly might be in a little bit of trouble, but we'll kind of see what their schedule looks like this week. I don't think anybody has it tougher than Houston.
But no, the next game is where, like, to me, it was like, okay, this is the game that proves just how bad LAG wants this shit. I mean, not only do you go and hand New York a loss, you go and hand London a loss.
Mm-hmm. Like, this was a hell of a statement week.
These were the two big bad bullies in the league, you know? Yeah, this was a hell of a statement week for LAG. I loved it. You know.
I thought London played well. I really enjoyed Birdring's Genji play. Him and Hydration both had some awesome Dragon Blades, especially on Blizzard World. Hydration had this awesome clutch. It was super cool to watch. But yeah, man. I mean, not only was it a 3-2, but it was the reverse sweep. Like going into halftime, it was 2-0 London, and then Gladiators just turned it on in the second half.
Well, like I said, I think it all goes back to this Fisher. I don't think he's ever going to let London beat him. I don't know what team he's going to end up playing for, if he's going to be at LAG for the rest of his career. But regardless, I don't think he's ever going to let London beat him. Never again, is he going to let them, look down on him. So I think this will continue to be statement wins out of LAG against London. They haven't lost since they picked up Fisher. He hasn't let him lose. So I think this was the closest one. Yeah, against London.
Okay.
But yeah, like look at their record. All their games against London since picking up Fisher, they have not lost one. This was probably their closest to a loss, but I think it's a statement that it's never going to happen, London. You're not going to beat Fisher.
I mean, that's what you want when a team trades you, is to be able to say, hey, man, I own you guys. Like, you made the biggest mistake of your lives.
Exactly.
So,
and this is a guy who's living that dream right now.
I'm honestly, I'm excited to see Gladiators in playoffs. I'm excited to see if that fire can carry him far. That would be cool.
I do too. Yeah, definitely.
We got NYXL taking the 2-1 over Shock. I mean, that's pretty expected. What wasn't expected is San Francisco getting a map win and a draw. Like
that's what I was going to say.
Hats off to them.
Hats off to San Francisco for at least doing that. Like, that's work against XL,
Yep.
So, power to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Shock is one of those teams that's mathematically out of playoffs, but I think both them and Fuel have had such an interesting kind of arc this whole season. Because Dallas arguably more, because they kind of started off kind of level and then they kind of tanked, and then they came back up. San Francisco was just kind of level, mediocre, and then they turned it on at the end. But similar kind of curves, and I'm interested to see how they do in season 2.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they still stand to be, thorns in the side of playoff contenders right now. I mean, you got to look into next week's schedule and go, okay, well, who is Shock and Fuel playing? Yeah, they're not going to the playoffs, but they can stop other people from going.
And I hate that, man. I hate it when they play spoiler because it's always against my team. But we'll see what happens. Then we got Houston, LA Valiant taking the win 4-0 over Houston. Oh man, I'd love to say this one was close. It wasn't at all.
I was gonna say, dude, this was kind of sad to watch, bro.
Soon was owning Linkser, which I never thought I'd see, and Valiant was just outclassing them in every way. And it sucks, man. As a Houston fan, like Valiant's, they're awesome this stage. And I mean, hopefully it carries them far in playoffs, but
they've really just kind of been awesome since, the second half of the season here.
Yeah.
I mean,
ever since, what was it? In and out. Was it in and out? Yeah.
Yeah. The agility stock, man.
Yeah. Shape up or kicking you out. Yeah.
I mean, they had a couple good weeks and they picked up Bunny and Custa and it really locked it in, and they've been solid as hell for the last half of the season.
Yep. Absolutely. But enough about last week. Let's talk about your play of the week and a little bit of a spoiler here with the picture, I guess. But what was going on here?
I loved this play because
it's hilarious.
I picked this part of I picked this timing on it specifically because you don't actually get to see this play happen. You're seeing so much other shit go down. It's like it just kind of happens. But when you watch really, really closely at the beginning few seconds of this play, you're gonna see Kuki off on the right side, right by the bridge on that control point on Lijiang. And all he's doing is sitting there waiting. Then all this crazy epic battle unfolds in the room off to the side while he jumps onto the point and no one notices him. And he saves
Just
the game for his team.
watch
This
the
was their
control
map
meter.
win for Seoul, and I thought it was the coolest freaking play you're never going to see happen in Overwatch.
All right, so let's take a look.
Ready. It's going to be the Valkyrie coming in. That pulse bomb got eaten. Zumba ready for that one with the Diva. Mistake stun, gets pushed back. Zumba with the kill on the striker here, but Jaehong down. It's going to be the Valkyrie from Gambler to try to keep Soul in it. They get the res onto Jaehong too. That's crucial as Jaehong is really close to that Transcendence.
Point flip, Joe, on the point flip! The
And
point
somehow
flip!
Soul got in, they flipped it, and Boston couldn't get back. That's a 2-0 for Seoul Dynasty here on Lijiang Tower.
Oh, that's a mistake by Boston. They
No
committed
kidding.
into that little room. They had a lot of people left alive, and they were going after the Soul supports, but in the
my.
meantime, the point flips over, and that's going to be Soul taking the win on Lijiang Tower.
All right, well,
Crazy, man. Crazy.
And the best part was like the announcers at the end of it going, "Wait, what the hell just
No,
happened?"
the caster reaction is the best part, where Monty's just like, the point flipped. What? The point flipped.
The point flipped. I mean, yeah, dude, that was like the greatest thing when everybody finally realized, holy crap, no one was playing the point. Kuki the whole time was absent the entire fight. Nobody even saw or noticed that he wasn't there.
That was one of the most epic
Throws his shield down,
C9s.
stands in that doorway, and takes it away from him. I thought it was the coolest play you'll never see.
For sure, one of the most epic C9s I've ever seen.
It was awesome. Just hands down awesome. I was like, the second I saw it, I was like, that's my play. That's it. That's my play.
Well,
And I sat there and I watched that play probably 50 times trying to see, all right, is there any sign of where Kuki is and how he does this? Because you don't know how he does it. You don't know if he jumped through the window. You don't know if he just walked in the front door and was like,
I'm
"What
pretty
up?"
sure he just walked in.
it just happens.
It's crazy, man.
But yeah, you do see him kind of camped out on that right side if you're looking really closely.
Crazy. Let's take a look at, so here we got the stage standings, guys. This is just for stage 4. So remember, those top 4 teams do get the 4 spots for the stage playoffs. Really, at this point, it's just for bragging rights and that 125 G's. Nice little pocket money. If you guys want to throw some my way, I wouldn't complain. But Valiant, for sure, a shoe-in. I mean, these are pretty set. I think Dallas is the only one that's got to sweat a little bit, and we'll see later on kind of what their schedule looks like for this week. But I would actually love to see Dallas in the stage playoffs, because I just want to see what this fired up Dallas team can do against these top teams.
I'm right there with you, dude. But like the problem is the 5 and 6 seed, and I mean those are 2 teams that want it bad for the season playoffs.
Yes.
And that's going to make it rough for Dallas because Dallas only sits a point above Philly right now.
Like one map point, not even one win.
One map point above Philly. But I like, yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. I want to see Dallas in these stage playoffs because, I mean, just to have that kind of turnaround, like, that's freaking awesome. I would love to see it happen. Like, that gives, people hope that, like, not only can things turn around for a team in an off season, they come back better in the next season, but, like, things can turn around for you in the season because patch plays to your favor or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
So yeah, I want to see Dallas, dude. Like, I really kind of hope they win out and they're able to get there. But yeah, I'm with you. Those top 3 seeds, they're not going anywhere.
And I feel like if we throw out Houston, because I'm biased, I would actually want my 4 teams in the stage playoffs to be the 2 LA teams, Philly and Dallas. I've seen so much of NYXL. I'm tired of watching them. I would love to see what Philly and Dallas can do against the LA teams in a stage playoff situation. I think that would be fun.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I'd love to see New York step out of it, but I mean that's not going to happen.
Sure.
Let's just be real. But yeah, I'd love to see that too.
Yep.
I mean, no offense to Houston, but I think Philly would be more fun to watch against LAG and Valiant, and Dallas for that matter at this point. I mean, Dallas doing well.
Yep.
No reason to count them out.
For sure, for sure. But let's take a look at the season standings. So, keeping in mind, guys, that the top team in each division automatically goes to playoffs. So in this case, it's New York and LA Valiant are the top two teams. So they've clinched a spot. And I think Riggs said that Boston has also clinched a spot.
They're clinched, but again, their position could be anywhere from where they are right now to where Philly is. So
Okay, so they can't get knocked out.
Yeah, no, they can't fall into the 7th spot.
But they can be
fall to the
knocked
bottom.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now we've got Boston sitting 1 win above London. Then we got 3 teams at 23 and 15, and we got Houston and Seoul at 21-17. So,
But I mean, when you look at it though, London is pretty secure. I mean, just in map points alone, they're kind of dominating that 23
Sure.
category. They're pretty safe, and they have a decently easy schedule going into next week. But like I said, I mean, it's really LAG's and Phillies to lose. They're there right now. All they got to do is keep it up. I don't see LAG backing off. Like, honestly, I expect to see them in the 4 seed probably by the end of next week. You'll see it. I don't know if Boston is going to drop, but at least London will. Like, they'll swap spots, I think. But I think Philly is probably going to be somewhere in that 5-6 spot. Like I said, Boston's kind of got a weird schedule this coming week, so I mean, they could screw up. But Seoul is way out of it right now, and they definitely have probably the hardest uphill battle. Houston's got a lot, but they don't need as many losses to get there.
yeah.
Like, Seoul would need an absolute goddamn miracle to happen at this point to even make the playoff.
Yep.
Not only do they have to win out and hope to God that, like, I think it's Boston loses out, LAG loses out, Philly loses out, and Houston loses out to get there or something. It's insane, like, what they need. Oh, and London. They need all 3 or all 5 of those, 3 to 7 teams to lose out completely next week in order to make it.
And there's not even enough matches for that really to happen, I don't even think.
And yeah, and not only that, but they would need a hell of a map score. They would need like perfect 4-0 scores.
Yeah.
And for basically everyone else to get 4-0'd. Which isn't going to happen because a couple of these teams play each other. So one of them has to win.
The thing that I think is super interesting is if you kind of look at this top 8 set of teams here, you've got New York at 33 and 5, and then it's like 20s. Seoul Dynasty is like 21 and 17. And then you go down to San Francisco's 16 wins, and then Dallas is 11 and then 7 and then 0. Like, there's such a huge gap between that 8th place and then 9th and below. And like, that's what we were talking about is next season, I want to see all these teams with a little bit more parity.
Definitely, dude. I mean, I hope the league has something up their sleeve as to how they're going to accomplish that. I know a lot of other sports do it with the drafts. They do it with free agencies, salary caps.
I was actually going to say this earlier. The original video, like the very first video for the Overwatch League at BlizzCon 2016. Yeah, 2016, I think. Or maybe it was 2016. They said that there was going to be a combine and a draft. Now, whether that meant only for season 1, I don't know, but I would think that there's going to be some kind of a draft day type situation.
Well, that's kind of what happened for Overwatch League is they did do their little combine where, they got to kind of see what was going on in Contenders League and Apex and see what certain players were doing already. But they kind of pulled everybody together for a day online to just kind of show off their skills. But basically from there, teams owners went and went like, I want that whole team. I want that whole team. They didn't just like, oh, I want that. Like, Boston was the only one that was really, I like that player. I like that player. I like that player. I like that player. Let's get them all together and make a team. But I, I don't know. To me, that's not really like. Obviously, it didn't set up any kind of parity. I mean, there is a really competitive, like you said, top 8 spots, but then there's a really big drop off from there. So obviously, it didn't quite work out for everybody. And like you said, like we said already on this conversation, that like these aren't untalented teams. I mean, even Shanghai, Gaguri is considered to be one of the best Zaryas and Divas in the world. She's not a bad player.
Right.
Dia is a great tracer. I mean, he's a good player. Undead was a good player. Granted, we won't get into that, but
Rest in peace.
yeah, they have good players. All these teams have good players. So I mean, I hope the league has some kind of idea as to what they plan to do to create some parity, because obviously that needs to be addressed going into next season.
Well, you know what, Riggs?
And hopefully they've got an idea already, because next season's about to start to come. You know?
You are very right. And you know what? I think I have the answer to how we bring parity, increase competition, increase efficiency, and how we save Overwatch as a competitive esport. You know what that answer is?
What's that, bro?
XQC, baby.
Oh my god.
He's back.
See, I really thought you were just pranking me when you sent me this. Like, I just can't fathom the fact that anybody's going to want to touch me. Yeah.
XQC
Maybe it's a reformed XQC.
is back. So, what specifically happened? So, XQC was tapped to be the main tank for a contenders trial team. So, it's not even a team that's in contenders yet. And it's a team named Goats GG. I would like to assume that means greatest of all times, but it probably just means like, bah, we're goats.
It does kind of, their symbol kind of looks like a goat in a wheelchair, maybe.
And
I'm not really
honestly,
sure.
can you describe XQC as anything other than a guy that would play for a team whose logo is a goat in a wheelchair?
Sounds legit, dude. I mean,
it just
seems like the two go like together, like
I don't think
waffles and
we
chicken.
brought this up on the stream, but XQC has actually been rooming with Bren, I think, or Sideshow or Reinforced, one of those guys. One of those 3 guys on the desk has been rooming with XQC, basically trying to be like, hey, here's how you be an adult, and here's how you like manage your emotions and be professional. Instead of just like turning their back on the guy, people are trying to kind of help him kind of learn how to be a professional. So I don't watch the guy's stream. I don't know how it is, but maybe he's learned something. Maybe he'll come back better for it.
But see, that's kind of what I thought kind of instantly too when I saw this article and you sent it to me originally. Like, I kind of thought like, okay, would Overwatch League really allow him to come back? I mean, even after he's left, I mean, regardless of the fact that for the most part he's keeping his stream pretty clean.
Well, it's not like he was banned.
No. But I mean, it like just the things that he did they really want to take a chance on him again? But the real hitter to me was the fact that like this dude is basically a guy who streams for a living. That's what he does. That's his job. He could pick any time of the day to stream. But when does he stream? When Overwatch League is on. Like,
right.
That's when he fires up his stuff. Like, to me, that's still XQC kind of taking his little punches at Overwatch League. Like, well, I'm gonna try to take some of your viewership because I'm gonna stream at the same time. I mean, granted, he doesn't get anywhere near the numbers that Overwatch League does. So I mean, he's not really even denting their viewership, I think, but he probably thinks he is. And I mean, to me, yeah, we did mention like I think it's like you said, I think it's Sideshow. And we did mention that after he lost his job, cool that he ended up moving in with them. But I mean, to me, that's kind of hit on your roommate too, dude. Because I mean, you could be sitting there showing your support for your friend, watching a show, and instead of doing that, you're choosing to run your stream then. It's
Well,
like, dude,
so
come on, bro.
I'll play
Be a friend, man.
I'll play devil's advocate just a little bit. There is a rule to where whether you're playing or not, no Overwatch League player is allowed to stream during Overwatch League because they don't want you to draw attention from the cast. So I will play devil's advocate. It could be maybe it's not out of spite. Maybe he's just like, hey, nobody's going to be streaming. Nobody pro's going to be streaming. This is my time to take all those viewers that aren't going to be watching Overwatch League anyways because there's no other streamers on.
Like I said, I mean, that could be it. But, I mean, to me, again, if you're assuming that XQC really does want to get back into Overwatch League, that's not the way to do it. I mean, obviously, like you said, he signed that agreement paper when he started playing Overwatch League in the first place, that he wasn't going to stream during Overwatch League. Which I'm not really sure he ever adhered to anyway, because a lot of his streams seem to be going on during like stage 1 games and stuff. But like not when Fuel was playing, but like other teams were playing. It seemed like there's XQC streaming and he's not supposed to. But like again, dude, just even the friendship aspect of like, dude, you lost your job, you lost your place to stay in America, but you decide you were gonna stay here. Sideshow takes you in, like. You could at least be a friend enough to freaking watch his show, dude. Like, show your support for your friend. Like,
Anyways,
nothing else, just be a friend, dude.
you're like getting really fired up about a really ancillary point. But
I don't know. It has bugged me seeing that he's streaming.
Point being, I think if he wants to come back to Overwatch League, this is a great way to go about doing that. Because this is kind of, you're not going to go straight back to Overwatch League, but he's still competing. He's still going to be in the public eye. Everybody that would hire him for a team is going to be watching him on this team. And so it's like, here's your second chance to take kind of like a smaller first step and to be like, hey, this is the new me. I'm reformed. I'm going to be a team player this time.
No, I can agree with you there. I mean, if he truly is trying to make a stand to get back in the league, he's doing it the right way. Taking those steps, showing that he's, learned his lesson, he's getting more responsible, he can handle it. He's not going to make similar mistakes that he made last time. But, I hope he's willing to really give it all, because that's what it's going to take, I think that he needs to look at it from the perspective of not just like, dude, I want to get back into Overwatch League, or, like I want to prove those guys wrong that like I could have done it. Yep. Dude, at these guys' contention level, these are their friends. These guys have been playing long before Overwatch League because they've been in the same SRs, and he needs to take a step back. Look at some of the friends that he has that this is taking a toll on. And he needs to realize that this takes everything you've got to do this. You can't back down. You have to practice hard. You have to mentally prepare yourself for it. I think that's what's kicking most of the players' butts right now is the mental preparedness. I don't think a lot of them prepared. I think that's why you're seeing a lot of the breakdowns that you're seeing. You're seeing, league of absences where they got to go back home and visit family. There's a huge picture that he needs to do. And I mean, I'm not discrediting Sideshow as anybody who's not going to try to paint this picture for him so he can see it all. I fully expect Sideshow to do that. He seems like an insanely intelligent guy who probably, has got a real good grasp on his shit. So, I mean, if anybody can mentor XQC out of this hole, it's probably him. But I think that, yes, while these are great steps in the right direction for XQC, this is steps, and there's a long road ahead,
Yep.
Yep.
But I mean,
how far is he willing to go?
We can kind of give him the benefit of the doubt for now, and The other thing is it is a long ways until Contenders starts up again. So, we can kind of see how things play out, but definitely a really interesting piece of news from the past week, and we'll kind of see how it plays out.
But I mean, I think it's also interesting too. This obviously kind of okay. If they do a draft and they're picking out a Contenders,
I have no idea.
XQC will not be in season 2. Because again, like you pointed out, this is a trial team. This is trying to get into Contenders, and they'll be trying to get into the next season of Contenders. So it probably won't be before a draft if there is one. So there's no way he's going to hit a team before season 2. At best, he might be able to make a return in season 3.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, but I mean,
or maybe like halfway through season 2, I guess.
And maybe that's best for him. Like, there's no rush. With the investments that have been made, Overwatch League has to be around for a long time, and they want it to be around for a long time. So he's got time.
But I think it will be around for a long time.
But anyways, let's move on to this week. Starting tomorrow, this is the final week, guys. Like, this is it. You want your team to make playoffs? This is the time to pull out all the signs, pull out the air horns. Every cheer you got, these guys are going to need it because every game counts for so many of these teams. Right off the bat, LA is going to beat Shanghai. Like, this would be the upset of the century. LA is just on fire this stage.
Yeah, I don't see this going any other way. And I really hope to God that LA does not play down to Shanghai, that they just go out there, bring that freaking fire, and get every damn point that they can get because they really need it, and they need to secure that spot in the playoffs. I want to see Gladiators in the playoffs.
Yep. And then we got Valiant probably taking the win over San Francisco. I don't see them. I mean, they're undefeated right now. They're on their way to tying Boston's record. I don't see them dropping a match to San Francisco.
Yeah, I agree. Like, while I think San Francisco could play thorn in the side of playoff contender, it's not going to happen here. I mean, even if they won, it's not going to dent LA's chances of playoffs or
they're already clinched
or anything like that. So, I mean, there's really not much San Francisco can do but show up, play, and take the loss. I really think that the most exciting game of the night is going to be this third game, Dallas versus Seoul. I mean, yes. Seoul needs it bad, but I think it's going to be Dallas.
I think it's going to be Dallas.
Yeah, my heart tells me this is going to be Dallas all day long.
And
this is going to be where Seoul gets eliminated from the playoffs. Yep, they have no chance if they lose this game.
And that'll be another match win towards stage playoffs for Dallas. So they certainly still have reasons to fight.
That begs the question, okay, Seoul loses this game to Dallas. They get eliminated. They're no longer in the playoffs. Is Fleta still in contention for MVP? Personally, in my opinion,
was he ever in contention for MVP?
They have been talking about Fleta MVP since like day one of stage 1, and it really hasn't let up. But if it were up to me, he wouldn't even be in the conversation.
Don't you have to be on a winning team to be an MVP?
No, you don't have to necessarily be on a winning team, but I mean, while he's a great player, I think there were so many other pivotal players that were like diehard essential to their team's success over Fleta that he wouldn't even be in my conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but the obvious is SB. I think Striker should be in that conversation. Mistakes probably as well, just because of what he's done in stage 3 and 4. Carpe, shoot, I'd put Pine over Fleta at this point probably, just because the few appearances of Pine, he just wrecks so much face that like he just kind of put Fleta to shame. Linkser, insanely crucial part of Houston. When Linkser was out of the game, or just not on his game, Houston suffered as a whole. There's so many other players. Fisher definitely would be probably my top pick. Gamsu.
Striker,
Guri
Carpe.
would be in my conversation for MVP because at least she gave Shanghai a slight glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
had some really close matches after her. But Fleta wouldn't even be in there.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about MVP later on down the road once maybe the regular season wraps up. But moving into Thursday, we got Houston taking on Philly. And this is probably going to be one of the most important highlight matches of the week, guys. If you want to watch a bloodbath, if you want to watch a hard-fought match, hopefully this will be a good one because both of these teams need to win this extremely badly.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think I got to give the edge to Philly, honestly.
I was going to say, bro, you're going to hate me, but I got to give this one to Philly.
I think Philly wants it more.
Like you said, this is going to be one where every inch that payload moves is going to be hard fought for. But I think it's going to be Philly. They seem more solid.
I think if Houston loses this, they're 100% out.
I think so too. Like I said,
because they would have to like 4-0 New York.
I hate to say it, but I really kind of think that this is where Seoul and Houston get knocked out.
I think you're right. Yep.
And after this particular game, we're basically at that point just battling for seeding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But then we got London up against Florida. I mean, London hasn't looked in their best form, but I don't know, man. We know Florida's capable of stepping up.
And, the weird part about Florida is that they're capable of stepping up. When they have stepped up against teams that aren't Shanghai, it's against teams like London and XL.
Right.
I kind of want to give this one to Florida just because London doesn't necessarily need the win. Like, they're kind of secure. They're not clenched, but, I mean, as long as they don't lose too many map points and they do a half a decent job, they could even lose out that week and still get to the playoffs,
Yep.
So I don't see London really fighting that hard this week. I think they'll kind of save that fire for the playoffs, hopefully. And I really think this could be a match where Florida gets the win against a big bad team like London.
So you're picking Florida?
I'm picking Florida.
Oh, I think I gotta go with London, man. But I hope I'm wrong. Next we got
Florida needs wins to get out the rest of the season.
Yeah, right. But then rounding out the first half of the week, we got a rematch, guys, of the Stage 3 finals. New York, same old New York, going up against a very different Boston Uprising. And you could almost say that New York is the one that started this free fall Boston has been in, because they were undefeated like 12 matches in a row. Then they lost to New York. What was it? 3-0 in the 4-0 in the finals. Yeah, just got absolutely stomped. I mean, obviously I got to go with New York here. I'm sure you feel the same, Riggs.
Yeah. But no offense, Boston. I know you need this win, but you're not going to get it there.
Yeah, like it's not going to happen, guys. All right, moving into the second half. This is where it gets ugly for Houston fans, man. Like, I'm sorry, but we're going to get stomped by New York. Even in Stage 1, we weren't up to New York's caliber, and we definitely aren't in Stage 4.
This is going to be the ugliest day of Overwatch, like, in this whole week. Like, just look at the lineup. I mean,
it's going to be a lot of one-sided matches.
Houston needs this, but it's not going to happen against New York.
Nope.
New York's going to put its foot down. This is the last game of the season. They want to remind everybody who they are going into those playoffs. They're going to do it here. It's going to be sad. It's going to be ugly. I'm going to cry for Houston that day. But it's going to happen.
Yeah, man. It's not going to be a fun day. But
and LAG is going to do the same damn thing to Seoul. Because Seoul's heart's broken already from being eliminated from playoffs. Like, LAG is just going to have a field day.
Yep. And then Valiant's going to beat up on Fuel, probably.
I don't know. I think this again could probably be the most interesting game of
This is
the
definitely a more interesting
the
one to watch for
day.
sure.
Because Dallas really needs this one for the stage playoffs.
Yep. So I mean, it
LAG
would be
doesn't really
nice.
need it for, or LAV doesn't need it for shit. I
Right.
mean, this one, if Dallas can bring the heat,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be easy. This is Valiant, polished Valiant. But I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play hopeful. I'm gonna play Dallas and hope go to the
Ooh,
playoffs, guys. Go to
bold,
the stage
man,
playoffs and have fun.
bold. I'm gonna say Valiant still. I don't think it's gonna be Dallas, but
Well, like I said, I'm kind of hoping that like Valiant will kind of do like against San Francisco, where like I rest your starters. You know, like you're going into the playoffs. You're gonna have a bye week. Get them that extra week off. You know, buy 2 weeks instead of one, and just let Dallas stop you, please.
yep, crazy man. We'll see what happens though. I hope that that's a good one to watch. I've been really enjoying Dallas's play this stage, and like I said, I would just really love to see them in the stage playoffs. As much as I talk shit about Dallas being a Houston fan, you know, I do want to see them do well. I mean, Envy was a legendary roster in Apex.
We want to see every team do well. You know, we don't
Yep.
want to see any team do bad. So
For sure.
the fact that they're doing well, we just want to see them continue on with it.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so moving into the last day of the week, we got Philadelphia going up against London. In my opinion, I think this is a very winnable match, really for either team, but Philly definitely needs it a lot more than London does.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be Philly. I think it'll be a 5 map, but I think it'll be Philly.
Yep.
But I think that this is probably going to be like the game of the week. Honestly, like when you look at the schedule of everyone else, I mean, there's going to be some fun games to watch there. Dallas Fuel, LA Valiant. Well, all the Fuel games will probably be fun to watch this week. But I really think that the ultimate like fun game this week is going to be, you know, Philadelphia taking on London. That's going to be super fun just because of what these teams are capable of. And you know, London likes to play a little bit kind of like Houston, where we like to stay on our defense and kind of poke and see what you're going to do. But Philly just loves to play aggressive and throw you off tilt. So,
Yep.
like, I think it's Philly, dude. I think they got the edge.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Philly too, and we'll kind of see. Then Shanghai's last chance, man, and it's not even a good one. They're going up against a renewed San Francisco Shock.
I was gonna say if this was Shock like 5 weeks ago, like maybe you guys had a chance. But
Yeah, this is gonna
No.
be ugly.
no, this gonna be sad.
Hey,
It's gonna
but
be
you know
super sad.
what? Final game of the regular season, Boston against Florida. At least Florida has a very winnable game. They could very much win this.
Yeah, they could win this, and I think that they will. I hope we finish out the season with a couple wins this final week.
That would be nice.
End the season on a high note. Beat Boston, beat London. Let's do it, guys.
Yep.
We can do it.
So hopefully that'll be Florida taking the win. But yeah, guys, final week of season 5, week 5 of stage 4 of season 1 of Overwatch League. Down to the wire, guys. This is the end of the regular season. We're going to see who goes to playoffs. Please drop us a like, follow, retweet, reblog, whatever your preferred social media is. That super helps us out. Let us know in the comments, who do you guys think is going to make it to playoffs? What teams are you rooting for? Who's going to be the strong teams? Who's going to be the spoilers? Who's going to be the dark horse? We want to know it all. Hit us up on social media. You can follow me on Twitter at Magic of Limbo and on Twitch, also Magic of Limbo. And then BattleNet at Magic of Limbo number 1766.
Yeah, and you guys can find me on Twitter at OneEyeWillie82. You can find me on Twitch at The Real Rigsby. And you can find me in games at Riggs number 11720.
But
Yeah, definitely send us some mail, guys. Hit us up. Let us know your thoughts going into the playoffs. We want to hear your opinions too.
Yep.
And if you guys want something to talk about or you have an idea for us to talk about, hit us up. We'll throw it in there. Make a segment out of it.
Absolutely. Well, hope all you guys out there have an awesome week. Enjoy the games. Enjoy playing some games, watching some games. Riggs, my friend, until next time, this has been Let's Break It Down. We'll catch you guys next time.